Hey everyone, welcome back to Critters Corner. I'm Calvin. In this video, we're going to be going over my camera gear that I use in the woods to film my outdoor adventures. Let's get right to it. If you're looking to start filming your own outdoor adventures, trust me, this video is for you. Doesn't matter if you're a vlogger, an outdoor enthusiast, or just someone who wants to capture those awesome outdoor experiences and memories for years to come. This setup is for you. Trust me. I started vlogging in 2023, not really knowing what I was doing. I got diagnosed with cancer that year, only to find out I was going in chemo in 2024. So in that summer, I started to bring my trusty tripod with me and my camera gear to start vlogging my comeback after cancer. And then since then, this channel has grown tremendously. So if you could do me a favor, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. And if you want to see how these products actually perform, go check out the other videos on my channel and let me know what you guys think. But let's get right to this. For me, my go-to setup is a Manfrotto mini tripod. For a base, we're using an Insta360 selfie stick as well as a Ulanzi ST27 aluminum carrier. For me, these three pieces are essential for my setup. And the reason is my setup primarily revolves around simplicity, compactability, as well as affordability. So these three products are fairly cost effective in the grand scheme of things. I could break them down independently. I could unscrew them all and tuck them away in my backpack or even stuff them into my pockets if I really need to, because when I'm in the outdoors, you never know what happens. This is my cameraman. This is going to be my go-to piece when I'm filming from afar, when I'm filming my B-reel, or if I'm going to be using it to talk to the camera specifically. I like the Manfrotto because it has a push-button gimbal adjustment, so I could adjust the angle of the camera without having to realign the base on the ground. And I also like it because I could collapse the feet of the tripod and use it as a handle when I'm talking to the camera. So it's pretty handy in that sense. The Insta360 has a unique grip pad on the base, if you can see. It lets me not to slip up and drop it and lose it in the drink or the lake. And I really like the Ulanzi ST27 because it allows me to film in portrait mode, but then also landscape mode. So I could make an adjustment. I could even film technically on a diagonal if I really want. The back has a screw that I could dial and lock in place. And it also has a red dial that allows me to adjust the width of the smartphone. And that can be very handy if you're using a smartphone to film and you have an OtterBox or another case on it as well. So keep that in mind. The Manfrotto can be found on Amazon for $25 to $40 Canadian for what I've seen. They do have promotions on where you can get up to 20% off, so keep an eye on for that. I think the selfie stick goes for about $50 to $65 Canadian. This is the 114 centimeter length one. It expands quite well and also compacts pretty easily. And the Ulanzi goes for, I believe, $30 if I'm not mistaken. And you could also find products up to, or discounts up to 15% on there as well. I also like this piece of equipment because if I'm filming in portrait mode, it definitely allows me to add another light source on the top if I want. So I'll keep that in mind for maybe future videos when I'm filming in the dark in the outdoors. So that's pretty much my go-to when it comes down to my tripod setup. For cameras, I use a few different ones. For an action camera, I'm using a GoPro. This is the 10 Black, and this one can be filmed in 5K resolution, but then also 60 frames per second. So in cinematic feature or cinematic mode for this camera, I'm able to get a lot of high quality video without having to hold the camera. And you're asking, how am I filming without a camera? Well, with the GoPro, you have the ability to use a lot of different features, not just, let's say, a gimbal, a tripod, and a screw-in feature to go ahead and secure your camera. I could also use a clamp. So this pinch clamp, I typically put on my tree stand, let's say even on my truck. I've done a lot of different places with this clamp specifically, and I could film upright, upside down, from the side as well. And that's the unique part about the GoPros. I could film in landscape or portrait mode without having to adjust my settings. One thing to keep in mind, if you're going to be using the GoPro continuously, you're going to need a few batteries without a doubt. When I'm in the woods, I carry probably 6 to 8 batteries charged at all times, and then I will switch them out as I need to. But if you're not organized and you don't know which batteries are charged and which one aren't, then you could have yourself a nightmare in the woods. But we're not going to get into that, right? Another way that you could power this is with an external power bank. I've seen people tape, let's say, an external battery source or a battery pack to their mount, film, and let it run on loop. That's handy if you're going to, let's say, set the camera up on, let's say, an ice fishing hole or a specific animal corridor that you're waiting for some action to come by. But you would set this up on loop just to continuously record. And then if you were to have some image or some action, you would just click the button off or shut the camera off and start it back up, and you'd retain your footage. So a lot of special features about the GoPro that I really like. Keep in mind that if you're not actively moving with it, it can overheat, especially in a warmer climate. If you're in the woods and you got a light breeze, you'll be fine. If you're driving out the window, you'll be fine. Or if you're going to be ice fishing or doing winter sports, you will be fine. Another camera that I like to use is by Apple. I use the iPhone. This is the iPhone 10. This is an old iPhone version that I have. It's my backup. I don't need to always have the best quality cameras when I'm filming some B-roll or some action shots, stuff like that. It does make an improvement, but that's why I'm also filming with the iPhone 13 Pro Max right now that you're watching on right now. I like the larger screens that are available with the Max versions because it allows me to look at the content in the woods if I need to go ahead and take a shot again, or if I have to do some quick revisions or edits. It makes it easier for my eyes as well as my fingers because I still deal with neuropathy sometimes when the weather gets bad. When I'm flying my drone into the woods, I prefer the bigger screens too, so keep that in mind when you're actually choosing out a phone. Unique thing about the smartphone is a lot of people have the smartphone and have the ability to go ahead and film and start vlogging. And that's usually the biggest hurdle for a lot of people to create content. They're afraid to press record. And I think that's probably one of the best pieces of advice that I've ever got from another content creator. Just press record. Once you get past that, let's say, nervousness, and you get comfortable in front of the camera, it'll start to become second nature. And trust me, I still spin my wheels here and there, but I'm a lot better than what I was. So this setup will also help with that tremendously. For audio, I like to use the DJI Mic Mini 2. It's a simple setup. I'm wearing one microphone right now, as you could tell. It's wireless, and this is the second one. It comes with a few different features, and it's a simple little charging case that I believe I could charge probably 6 or 8 times each microphone without having any issues. I just simply plug the receiver into the phone that I'm filming on, and I could have 2 mics live as I film my content. So we could have 2 recordings, or let's say 2 conversations, or 1 conversation with 2 people speaking at one given time. So that's pretty handy as well. If I need to charge something, this also doubles as a charging pack as well. So this goes for about $220 Canadian. The GoPro goes for $500 Canadian. This is current pricing too. I've had this for quite some time, and because I'm still waiting to go back to work after cancer, I'm not upgrading my cameras just yet. I want to find out what's going on first before having to dish out some extra cash. iPhones, they could go between $800 and probably $1,200 Canadian if you were to buy something new. But if you do a cost-effective plan, you could still get a really high-quality vlogging-based phone, or even a phone with a very good type of camera on the backside at a very affordable cost. So yeah. With the GoPro, I should also mention you do have the ability to have some accessories. Here we got a head mount. I would wear this in the winter, or when I'm tracking an animal, I just put it on my hat and walk around, and it gives me a point of view for the camera as I'm walking. So if you're interested in seeing that, check out my vlog series, episode 5 of my bear hunting after chemo, and you'll find out exactly what it's like to track a bear with a GoPro. On top of that, I also have a chest mount. I typically don't use this too much for hunting just because I find it gets a little bulkier in the way. And with the head strap, that avoids the need to use this. But if I'm going to be, let's say, on a bicycle, an ATV, a snowmobile, this could be very handy if I'm out for a hike, or even, let's say, ice fishing. If I'm going to be reeling and I have the rod in front of me, it's a very neat shot to capture the reel, the hands, the rod, and the fish coming out of the lake. So I like this for fishing, but sometimes I still use this when I'm ice fishing. I think that pretty much covers up all the gear that I need to talk about. Fairly straightforward. If you guys have any questions about the products that I'm using, let me know. I could go further in depth in another video about my drone, but right now I don't think that's necessary. If I had to do things from a very cost effective standpoint, I would just simply start buying a smartphone, and then afterwards you could look at possibly getting a selfie stick. I don't think you need to go ahead and buy the GoPro. It's a luxury, but I've had it for quite some time. And if you want to upgrade your audio, hey, check out external mics. They can be fairly cost effective too. You don't have to buy two at once. You could just buy one microphone and a receiver. I think they go for about $70 Canadian. So there's different options to go ahead and build something around your needs. I don't always use my tripod in the woods. Sometimes I'm just simply using my GoPro or tying my iPhone to my tree stands to film. But there's a lot of ways to get around this type of stuff. If you guys have any recommendations on how I can improve my setup, let me know. But hopefully you guys appreciate this content. By all means, like I said, smash the like button. I'd really appreciate it. It helps me grow the channel, connect with more people, not just like yourself, but other cancer survivors and other outdoor enthusiasts too. Don't forget to subscribe and let me know your feedback. If you guys want to see specific products or have more in-depth reviews, let me know what you want to see, and I'll see you next time.